already know at the end of today, the lights will go out in this building for the very last time. In the words of the great Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. It seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time when we have to say, so long. But not just yet. Today, you're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at how we make movie magic. Now, you probably already know that the word movie is just a nickname for moving pictures. But in the early days of filmmaking, the whole concept of making movies must have seemed a lot like magic. In the late 1800s, the Pettibone Brothers Manufacturing Company produced magic lanterns like this thing. And these were used by traveling showmen to project images onto a white backdrop. Now, you've got to imagine for just a moment what that was like. You're sitting in a dark tent. Suddenly, the white backdrop is revealed, and a single image appears. But then, when played in the right order, in the right light, and at the right speed, those pictures come to life, creating a magical new world. On this very location for over 100 years. And during that time, we've created some of the most memorable film moments in Hollywood history.
On to your butt.
It's been an honor.
It's an absolute honor to meet you. I'm sorry I'm going to take this moment. Pleasure.
It's been an honor. Now, since the very beginning, the basic concept behind the filmmaking process has remained the same. To make the audience believe that everything you see is real.
That's right, and today's filmmakers have more tools than ever before. High-tech cameras, super fast computers, but they still rely on a category of effects that are so distinctive, we call them special.
And the first special effects were practical effects, effects that are done live, on the set in front of a camera. And our first example of a practical effect will be models. Universal's 1932 film The Mummy made use of miniature effects, including scale models, like the ones you see here in the title sequence. And we know that's a model because if you look at the real pyramids, they do not say The Mummy on them. Now, Universal relaunched the franchise in 1999, and the Sphinx that you see in the opening shot right there, that Sphinx is this Sphinx right here. This is the actual model that was used in that movie, and the detail on this guy, mwah, chef's kiss. I think Greg would agree, models are still an awesome way to fool a camera.
Absolutely. Another filmmaking tool that fools the camera is the glass mat. Terrifying film The Birds, the brilliant Alfred Hitchcock had matte paintings created to achieve the eerie look that he wanted for the little town of Bodega Bay. Check this out. In this bird's eye view of that town, only two things are real: the fire and the parking lot. Everything else painted onto a sheet of glass to create a mat which was set in front of the lens during filming to create this. Pretty cool. And then the birds were layered in to complete the eerie effect.
So we've just shown you two examples of a practical effect, a model and a glass mat.
That's right, Matt, but there's still another category of practical effects that involve performers and not just props. Practical stunts! Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our stunt department!
Yeah!
That's an entrance.
What was insane? Omar comes flying in, crazy, sipping on MJ, figured out how to walk. Why don't we get a cool entrance like that?
We get to wear these fancy pants. And more fancy, too. We have an amazing stunt department. You may not recognize their faces, but you've seen a lot of their work in film and television programs, quite often doubling your favorite stars. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Combs, Kate Webco, and this is our stunt coordinator, Mr. Omar Hayward. Welcome, gentlemen. And we would love for the stunt community. Very nice. Well, let me ask our stunt coordinator a question. Omar, would you agree that stunt performers like the three of you often fill in for actors when there's a big fight scene?
That's correct, Greg.
Well,
It's because actors don't like getting hit in the face.
that is also correct, Omar. When you say hit in the face, what do you mean?
Like this.
I rather enjoyed that. Are you all right?
You alright?
He's all right. All right, well, you guys go get set up. Obviously, when it comes to staging fights, the art of illusion is very important. Every move has to be done as realistically as possible in order to fool the camera without anybody getting injured, of course. And then the rest is up to these guys to make it look believable. Let me set up the scene that you're about to see. It's a dark alley, dead of night, and lurking about are a couple of nefarious characters. Ready, and action! Probably not the kind of thing that our friends should be trying at home.
That's correct, Greg.
And I wrong place, wrong time. Where we see this guy get in bed? Did you notice all those really cool sound effects added to that scene? Dynamic sonic punches, the dumpster hit. What about the unfortunate cat at the bottom of that dumpster? What do we call it when we add all those sound effects?
Foley! You may have heard the term Foley before. It's the process of adding sound effects to a film after a shot. But do you know its origins? Jack Foley was a man who wore many hats. He was a writer, he was a director, he was even a stunt double, but it wasn't until he started recording sounds to Universal over 100 years ago that he began to make a name for himself. For 30 years, Jack worked on Soundstage 10, and if he couldn't recreate a sound that he wanted on that stage, my guy went out and recorded it live. In fact, he invented a technique called direct-to-picture where he and his crew, they recorded their sounds directly to the finished film in one single take. Now, their timing and the action on the screen had to be perfect because one mistake meant they had to start all the way over from the beginning of the film. And now to help us demonstrate Foley, put your hands together for our volunteers!
One day in California, welcome to the Ramirez family!
The Ramirez family, so you guys are going to help me demonstrate how these everyday objects in front of you, they can be used for something completely different in a film or a movie. Ooh, like this guy. Hey, a simple plastic water bottle. This can actually be used to make the sounds of bones crunching. Check this out. Just like that. And kids, you can try that at home, because your parents are going to love it when you fake an injury. Before it's into you guys, we're going to take a look at how the professionals do it. So everyone watch your side screens. You're going to see a split screen shot. On one side, you'll see Identity Thief starring Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy. And on the other side, Universal's Foley artist, hard at work.
Now, I have a plan.
Girl?
cake, right, Mom? Of course, she says. So let's tell everybody what we have in front of you and how you're going to use it. Starting with you, Mom, you've got our shoes on sticks. You're going to take care of all the running that happens in the scene. You've also got our crash box. Inside of this, we've got a little metal object. You're going to spin that when Jason goes flying into the shelf and flipping over the chair, yeah? I got it, Mom. Over here, Blanca, you've got our 2 reams of paper. They've been taped up nice and tight. You're going to slam them down on the cutting board when Melissa McCarthy does a face plant. And then over here, you've got our boxing gloves. You're going to be in charge of the throw punches and the face-ups. Quick, interesting fact about these 2 world record holders. They are the youngest people to ever run a marathon on all 7 continents. What have you done, Dad? I didn't think so. So down here on the end, you've got 2 props. We're giving you this cowbell. All right, that'll be for the sandwich maker when it hits Melissa in the back of the noggin. And then everybody, this is where things go crazy because these handcuffs are going to make the sound of handcuffs. Appropriate response. Handcuffs. So those are your props. This is your monitor. When your mobile pops up, you nice and thumbs up, ready to go. All right, fingers ready to rock. So let's go ahead and roll the clip. Record sound, speed, and action. Softest face slaps I've ever heard in my entire life. Now out here in the audience, you may be thinking that sounded a little empty, but here's what it sounds like. We're going to add back in the dialogue, the soundtrack, and now your sound effects. Stand here and watch the side screens. Let's check out your work.
Get over here and give me a wrist. Now I have a plan.
Now you're going to have to quit your jobs, drop out of school, and move to Hollywood. While Universal has produced great films in every genre, the studio really made a mark over the decades, creating some of the most terrifying thrillers and horror films of all time. Take a peek. Very special horror effects. Emerging from the shadows behind me are some of the stars of our horror family, the classic Universal monsters. Ladies and gentlemen, back here we've got the cats of Dracula, Chucky and his bride, there's Michael Myers, and on this side we've got Emotep, that's from The Mummy, good old, the Phantom of the Opera, and my personal favorite, good old Mother Bates from Psycho. She rocks. Thank you. First time I ever got a laugh on that in 10 years. It's also a wonderful place for a great demonstration.
Did you get a laugh? All the way from Panorama City, everybody say hi, Monica!
Hi, Monica! Well, Monica was selected because she has an epic Hollywood scream. Monica, if you're staying in the Bates Motel and suddenly you come face to face with a knife-wielding Norman Bates, how would you scream?
that was adorable. You're gonna die.
Have you been murdered before? That was very real. Well, as we all discovered a few moments ago, stunt performers have a very high pain threshold. Monica, the question is, do you?
Well, do you?
Because our next demonstration is all about blood. Ladies and gentlemen, pop quiz. What did Alfred Hitchcock use for blood in the classic film Psycho? Shout it out.
Chocolate syrup!
Chocolate syrup is the correct answer.
That's right, Psycho was a black and white movie so they could get away with that. However, nowadays, movie blood has to be so much more realistic.
Monica, thank you for giving us a hand.
Literally. Now, kids, I have to remind you, please do not try this at home.
Try this at a friend's house. Hey, put your arm out there. Don't you move, because I don't want to hurt myself.
Oh, no, you're not gonna use the machete.
I was seriously thinking about it.
Well,
But let's use this knife over here, it's much sharper. All right, everybody take a look at the side screens for the craziest cooking show you'll ever see. You wanted to be in showbiz, here we go. Let's hear that scream one more time on 3. 1, 2, 3! She's fine! Ladies and gentlemen, that's a classic cinematic horror technique called a Hollywood blood knife. Check it out on the big screen up there. That's a fake blade. It slides in and out of the handle. It's got a little notch in it that fits right over her arm. And on the back side, we've got this ball filled with blood. When I squeeze it, it makes a delicious chocolatey mess.
Aww.
It's really a wonderful effect, but not nearly as wonderful as our screaming friend Monica!
Monica!
Stop!
You're amazing! Girl, you got blood on my pants. I gotta change.
All right, you're gonna love your next outfit.
Got it.
Okay, you open that up to the camera? Excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Monica was such a wonderful volunteer. We promised her a picture in front of our classic Universal monsters. So let me position you there in the graveyard. So you're surrounded by all these monsters. Let's strike a pose of terror. That's excellent. Let's hit that screen one more time on 3, Monica. 1, 2, 3. Michael Myers! You go home, Michael! Go home! Come on out of the cemetery. It's not a dating app. I'm not sure that you looked very surprised, but let's go ahead and see if we can check it out one more time. Oh, no, okay. That is the poster for our next big thriller at Universal. Let's give it up for Monica! Thank you so much. Bad Michael Myers. Bad. Bye, Michael. Michael's got some fans in the audience. Absolutely. Well, those are more practical effects. We're going to shift gears and talk about visual effects, which are the kinds created inside a computer. And here now to help me demonstrate motion capture, or as we like to call it, mocap. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage my co-host, Matt!
Soak it in, people.
You look great.
Sir, my eyes hurt here.
I really like the beard for that outfit too. It's very distinguished. You ready to do this? Sassy. Well, let's bring up the perimeter sensors, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the markers on Matt's suit reflect light. Back to the sensors, and then up to the computer that captures all of his crazy movements. Can we get that capture on the screen, please? There you are, Matt. You're a big stick figure. So all the markers on his suit now show up there as dots in that skeleton. Hey, Matt, give me a T-pose, will you, buddy? So we always start out in this particular position. It marks the beginning of a fresh take. What are you doing?
It's really tight.
We noticed. We all noticed. Touch your nose with your left hand. Good. Now with your right. One more time with your left, please. One more time with your right. Yeah, we're getting a nice strong signal, Matt. You can go ahead and take your arm to your side. I need some full body movement. You love jumping jacks. Let's do some of that. And then maybe a little bit of marching in place. So using these wonderful movements that Matt is giving us, animators can create these digital skeletons, and then they play with the aspect ratio, add some wire framework to that. And finally, apply a digital skin. Now at this point, we can turn Matt into anything we want, but as you can see, he's still a man in a tight suit. Actually, he's a bear. You're a bear, Matt.
Hi.
But you're not just any bear. You guys know what this is? Ted, you gotta get this guy to a dance club. He's a dancer.
Let's get funky, baby.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Here we go. Check this out, Greg. You're gonna love this one.
I did.
This is for the ladies. And the one guy.
That might get noticed by human resources. Hey, Ted! What do you think of the show so far?
That's why I watch these things. It's like a cool behind-the-scenes thing that you wouldn't know.
Thunder Buddy's dead.
Thunder Buddies for life.
Look at that, you made yourself a Thunder Buddy. Let's hear it for Matt and the mocap suit!
Greg. I'll see you in the finale.
All right. Hey, fun fact, the Film Tippett Studios created a modified mocap suit for Seth MacFarlane so they could act and direct at the same time. Let's take a look at the genius behind Ted.
We were able to do Ted in a completely lifelike way and to use technology in a way that it really hasn't been used to date. What that technology does so well is it takes fantastical characters and makes them as realistic in movement as possible.
Pretty cool, right? But as far as technology has come with visual effects and CGI, there still are a few things that just look better real, like fire. Let's take a look at some fire stunts in Universal Films. One of the most exciting and definitely most dangerous aspects of filmmaking is a fire stunt. And right now, we're going to bring our top-notch stunt department back out to show you how they execute a live fire burn. Walking back on the center stage is the man who's going to be doing that dangerous stunt, Mr. Brian Combs. Helping to maintain his safety is Jay Huerto, and of course our stunt coordinator, Omar Hayward. Let's all take a look at Brian's face for a moment. Not a bad face. Although you may notice that it's very shiny at the moment, that's because it's absolutely covered with a gooey substance called fire gel, and that's a great product. It's going to help create a barrier between his skin and all that fire. You guys may know what it feels like if you've ever missed a spot of sunscreen. You can imagine how awful it would feel if he missed a spot of gel while on fire. Not good. Up next is the application of the fuel, and Jay is standing by with these fire extinguishers just in case of early ignition. You have a cool job.
Greg, we're ready to go.
All right, Omar.
Jay, are you ready? Brian, are you ready? Fuel him.
At the completion of the shot, Brian's going to make his way downstage to this blanket. And this is where he'll be put out. And at that point, we'll all be waiting anxiously for 2 thumbs up. That's going to be a sign from Brian that he's okay. If we don't get that, we know that we need to get the emergency medical team involved immediately. While they continue this process, I would like to pause for just a moment to remind everybody in this theater that these are trained professionals. All of them have many years of experience, and they're all currently utilizing highly specialized equipment designed with one purpose in mind, and that is to keep that stunt performer, Brian Combs, safe. And I know he appreciates that. What you guys are about to witness is spectacular, but incredibly dangerous, and not the kind of thing that anybody should be trying at home. If all goes well, he'll be on fire for roughly 8 to 10 seconds. Larry, let's bring our house lights down, please, and set our clocks. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we ask that everyone remain seated. Omar, set's yours.
Jay, are you ready? Ready. Brian, are you ready? Ready. Greg, stunts are ready.
Thank you, Omar. Ready, and action.
Ready. Do it.
10 seconds. 15 seconds.
You're up.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone was wondering if that was real fire, we can ask these people right over here. I'm sure that got pretty toasty for you folks over there as
Hey,
well.
Greg, I'm back. I'm ready for the big finale. Let's do it. Ha, hit it. Woo, yeah, ha, woo, yeah.
Hey, buddy, we just did the fire.
Yeah, let's do that fire burn. Let's do it. Ha,
We
hit
can
it.
do one more.
Omar, you son of a gun, you got me. I wasn't ready for it. Like a fire tornado. Flame, move out of the way. Move out of the
You're out, man.
I'm okay.
That's incredible! Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for all of our wonderful volunteers who were such a great help for us. On behalf of Universal Studios Hollywood, our entire cast and crew, thank you for all of your support over the many, many years. And enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood.